Okay, it is the morning time, and Chakra and I are going to go for a walk. And I just thought I'd like you to come along, and we can talk about some various healing things and stuff that I've been doing lately, and hopefully you can relate to these things and benefit from them. But we're going down my little road here, and you'll notice that I'm wearing some regular shoes with my orthotics in them, but I will be taking them off during certain times and walking in the grass. Now this is some rough grass right here. It's got a lot of crap in it and rocks and stuff, and I'm not going to do it. And what I've learned is that you have to be really careful with your feet. It's got to go poo. Good girl. Okay, come on. You have to be really careful with your feet, and also the more barefoot walking that you're doing, the more you have to do self-massage on your legs and your feet, especially when you're new at barefoot walking. Which is just like if you're a new massage therapist, you have to do a whole lot of massage on your arms, and if you're doing ashiatsu, you have to do it on your legs, because your limbs are getting used to, and your shoulders too, all your muscles are getting used to doing a new thing. Sorry, I'm shaking. I'll try not to shake the camera too much. If I could walk like Kung Fu, like the yogis do, then I wouldn't shake as much. So now you'll see that I'm under the power lines, and I'm getting about a 1.5 volts of electricity in my body as I'm walking under these, and I know that because I've tested it with my voltage meter. And but you know, there's just not a lot I can do about that right now, and I need to take the dog for a walk, and the benefits of walking right now outweigh the detriments of the static electricity coming out of those power lines. Look at that. That's a lot of power lines. And you'll see in just a moment that I live very close to a pretty busy street. Thank God you can see that I live up on the hill above it, and that it's good because the smog usually stays down low. And the air smells pretty good, all considering. So I'm just going to do little clips in and out, and I'll cut out for right now. So what I am learning is that the civilizing of this country, this continent, has taken a hell of a lot of effort and energy, and cutting corners. A lot of cutting corners have been done, and we're really going to have to step back to recreate a more sustainable life. We've learned a tremendous amount of things in the last several hundred years, but we haven't even come close to getting to where we've learned all we need to, because there are so many more things, especially with health and healing, that have to be done to make it safe for us, to live in a world where there's stuff like that exuding all that electricity into me right now. Okay, so I've taken off my shoes, and now I'm going to walk along the edge of the road here. Try and hold my shoes with the same hand I'm holding the camera. Chakra, come. So I'm just going to walk in the grass along here, and then I'll hit the driveways, and I'll have to walk on those. But you have to be very, come here, You have to be really mindful when you're walking where there's rocks, because you can step with your heel right on a rock and that can really hurt your heel. So now I'm going to cross the road here and walk on the grass on this side. Come on. This is not easy, holding the dog, and then she constantly goes around me. So I have to turn. So if you see me spinning, you'll know why. But it feels so good to walk in the grass with bare feet, especially now. It's July. I mean, this is regenerating, re-energizing my body. You know, think of your bodies as kind of like a battery that have an ability to recharge and touching the earth. Okay, come on. As soon as I can get onto the grass again, then I do. We're going to be going clear up the mountain, and pretty soon there won't be any power lines because they're buried. The rich people have theirs buried up there. So I have some predictions that I would like to extend to y'all. Just some various offhand predictions about the future. I think you're going to find that times are going to get tougher, no matter who is president. And but they're going to get better in a lot of regards too. That's how it works. The screws get tightened in, and they've been real tight for me, and my health has been an issue my whole life. And because I've had to figure out the ways to get healthy, it's projected me to be a progressive person and to be ahead of the game. And so you're going to find that I believe that food is going to get really expensive, and a lot of people are going to start to grow their own food. Watch John Kohler on growingyourgreens.com. And you're going to see that amaranth and quinoa are going to become the new substitutes, the new grains, because they're not grains, but they're like grains, and they give you the carbohydrates that you need, and they're storable. You have to cook amaranth, and so those of you that are hardcore raw foodists, and you need your protein, you're no longer going to be able to get it from seeds and nuts, because that's not going to be something you can buy. You can see how expensive they're getting. And they're not going to be available in large quantities. And like I said, they're going to be too pricey. And so you're going to have to find another protein source. And the natural protein source for human beings, for the most part, is beans. And you'll notice that beans are not included in the raw foodist diet. Well, I have news for you raw foodists. Beans are a totally natural human food, and most of them have to be cooked, other than the very, very summer beans. And so those of you that think that you can just go back to a primate diet of vegetables and fruits, nuts and seeds only, without any beans, without any super grains like quinoa and amaranth, without seaweed. I know the seaweed is a sea vegetable, but in any case, the diet needs to be very broad and definitely include beans. And winter foods, for those of you like myself that live in a place where It's really not natural to consume tropical fruits. And in the wintertime, it's not going to be easy to get those in the future when the gas prices are making those foods difficult to get at the store because they have to be transported a long way. And it's just not going to work. And most people have enough common sense and knowing to know that's true. Now, these foods are benefiting us a lot right now because they're helping us to transition to this new non-animal based diet, just plants. And so, whew, we're getting up there. Here we go. So I would also like to predict that you're going to see a whole lot of these raw foodists kind of easing off on their claims. Gradually, over time, they'll be forced to go back to eating more like a, what did I call it, a 40, 20, 20, 15, 10, 10, 5 diet? Something like that, with a broad range of foods, which includes a whole lot of raw foods, and it also includes cooked foods that are not totally destroyed. There are a lot of great benefits to cooking foods, and yes, it is possible that maybe even probable, that we'll figure out how to cook winter foods without cooking them. That might not be for a long, long time, because I don't see anyone making raw winter beans. Now, it may also be that we're all going to move to a southern warm climate, but I kind of doubt it. I don't see that happening. I really like it here in Asheville, and it does get cold often. I mean, 2 winters in a row. I mean, once we had 18 inches of snow here in North Carolina. We're in the mountains, so yeah, it gets cold. We're into the area where there's no power lines, and we're to a place where I can take off my shoes again and walk in the grass. Hello. Very nice people. You know, here in Asheville, even though people are filthy rich, they're not snobs like in a lot of places that are like that. Okay, I gotta switch hands here. Okay, come on. So now I'm gonna walk in the grass. And I'd also like to predict that a whole lot of people are gonna start barefoot walking because their intuition tells them, and because videos like this tell them, and because books like Earthing tell them that it's healthy, and common sense tells them that it's logical and healthy, and their intuition tells them that they need to do it because it feels good. And if they read a book about reflexology, it'll tell them, hey, you know, rubbing the feet is beneficial for your health. Okay, come on. She says, Dad, come on, stop and sniff the weeds for a minute. Take a break. She's a good girl. Okay, so now we're going to go to this side because there's no grass over there. We're going to walk over here and walk in the grass on this side. Perfect. So I predict that a whole lot of extreme things in this world, the most extreme things, are going to gradually dissolve. Because that's how it works. We get in trouble with doing something that's extreme, and then what we have to do is find an adequate substitute that's not so aggressive, or a contact sport, or heavy metal music, or something where we're endangering our lives too much. And I've found that, I don't know, I love to bicycle, but the smog and the traffic at least during certain times of the day, are not healthy and potentially hazardous. So you're going to see that pro football, Little League football initially, because people are going to be like, oh, I don't want my kids to get a head injury or a concussion, a spinal injury, and so I don't want them to play that. Pro football or even any kind of a contact sport is going to go away over the next 100, 200 years. I know. That seems like a long time, but it's really not. It's just a flash, as my mom says. So as you can see, I'm finding a shade of gray in that I walk with my shoes for a while, and then I take them off and walk in the grass when I can. And that's something that every single one of you can do. Every one of you, with no excuses, especially in the summer. Got to keep breathing because I get talking to you too much and then I'm not breathing good. So I'm blessed to have one of the best streets, I think, in Asheville to walk on, because there's no power lines. We're clear up high and gaining in elevation, and there's no dogs barking. There is lower down below, but even those people down there, for the most part, are really nice people. And I don't know, once again, I just think that the whole Andy Griffith thing, how they based that series after a small town, a good-hearted town. And North Carolina is just like that. Even if, I mean, whether people are Republican or Democrat, and sure, there's still the old Confederate types, but for the most part, people here are really nice and accepting, good folks. So this morning I got an email from my friend Didier. He and his wife have been at the Tree of Life Center near Tucson, Patagonia, Arizona, for most of the last several months. And they have really been thinking, I didn't know this but until this morning, but I guess that they had been really thinking about moving there and getting jobs, because Didier, he had his own thing going on with macrobiotic cooking meals, and you could come by his house and pick one up for $12 around noon every day. And then the city came down on him and wouldn't allow him to have that at his house anymore. And a whole lot of us, probably maybe 100 or more of us, maybe a couple of hundred people, were very disappointed. But you know, things are always changing, and this is another sign. And Didier is now going to be the head chef at Tree of Life, and he is awesome, and he's really learned a lot about raw foods. Now, I think that he's swung a little bit too far, but you see, his knowledge about macrobiotics and now raw foods is propelling him to new levels and taking him to a place where he can teach people the truth about both when he's ready. And the benefits of, yes, cooking the foods, at least to a degree. And so he is soon moving, he and his wife are soon moving, Lillian. She's going to be an acupuncturist there, and he's going to be the head chef at the Tree of Life Center for Dr. Gabriel Cousins. And I feel very blessed and to be a pretty good friend of this person. And I'm sure that I'll be going there and probably teaching some self-massage classes someday. You never know. But now I'm once again to some grass. There goes the shoes. And there's my baby. Hey, are you tired? Are you hot and tired a little bit? It's July, huh? Uh-huh. Yeah, she's kind of a camera hog. She likes to say hi to everybody out there. You're my friend, huh? Are you becoming a little bit vegan? Yeah. She's eating more and more health foods. Okay, so I'm going to, once again, try and hold the shoes. If anybody wants a great pair of orthotics for their regular shoes, man, these buckwheat wool orthotics are just the best thing going. But like I said before, remember that you've got to rub your feet. Check out reflexology, self-massage reflexology videos on YouTube, and learn all you can about how to rub your feet, because they reflex to every point. Every part on your body can be stimulated by rubbing your feet. It's one of the classes, a self-massage class for therapists that I teach. And I do it all the time, and today I'm probably going to do some self-massage when I get home. So look at how beautiful this is up here. And I really should feel blessed that I've been given this place and this walk today. And yes, I just got through another healing cycle and still hanging in there. No, come here. What is that? There's a dog in there. Okay. So it looks like the battery is running out of time. So I think I'm going to end this video and just remind you all to get out and walk your dogs, brush your dogs, bathe your dogs if you care about them, and I know you do. And keep working towards the natural. Right now is the summertime, and it's a good time to be eating a lot of fresh, water-filled foods. Lots of water in the foods to keep you hydrated and cool, like cucumbers and tomatoes. I'm going to pick a giant tomato, like that big, a giant heirloom tomato.